Welcome to episode 6 of Retrospect. Today I want to talk a little bit about tariffs and its effect on crypto. We've seen quite a bit of volatility this week. Monday we saw quite a pump happening from about $83,000 to $88,000, and that was on the news of the tariff plans being a bit more relaxed. But as we near April 2nd, we've seen prices drop back down to about 83,000 as of Sunday 9 a.m. GMT. And I'd like to talk a little bit about how April 2nd may shape out. So April 2nd is the day that Trump has circled to unleash his most significant round of tariffs, and he's going to detail all the trade policies that he's been alluding to up until now. There's already been a few imposed: goods from neighboring Canada and Mexico, as well as China, all steel and aluminium imports, foreign cars and auto parts. He's threatened several other countries, including traditional allies in the European Union, with other steep tariffs, even on European wine. So he seeks to boost domestic manufacturing by making it more expensive for companies to ship products into the US. There's talk of reciprocal tariffs. What that means is the US will charge the same tariff that other nations charge on US exports. Targeted countries will be what they call the Dirty 15. It is not known exactly who the Dirty 15 are, but the countries with the largest trade deficits with the US are China, the EU, Mexico, Vietnam, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, Canada, India, Thailand, Switzerland, Malaysia, Indonesia, Cambodia, and South Africa. But what does this mean in terms of Bitcoin? You see, tariffs create economic uncertainties, and when these economic uncertainties come about, investors hedge in alternative assets like gold and Bitcoin. So let's look back at the 2018-2019 tariff war. In 2018 to 2019, the trade war between the US and China had a significant impact on the US economy. It caused disruptions, price increases, which squeezed businesses' profit margins, and it elevated uncertainty. That led to higher volatility as ups and downs were dictated by news flow on trade talks and removal of tariffs. In general, there was a flight to perceived safe haven assets globally. Why were they after these safe haven assets? Because we had a weakened US dollar and rising inflation, and Bitcoin has performed well during periods of currency devaluation, positioning it as an attractive refuge for investors seeking alternatives to traditional assets. And during that 2018-2019 period, Bitcoin was cemented as the hedge against economic instability, and there seemed to be a growing acceptance of cryptocurrencies as a viable investment option. So what's the key takeaway here? The history suggests that tariff uncertainty benefits Bitcoin, but the effects can be short-term volatility or long-term growth. If we go back to that period, Bitcoin went from about $3,000 to $13,000. And it almost feels to me, guys, like when we're expecting good news, you can expect the markets to take a really bad turn, because it's almost like people are expecting this massive pump and it never happens. Similarly, this April 2nd doomsday feels like the opposite. Everyone's waiting for this doom and gloom, and then when it's not as bad as everyone expects, you could expect a pump. I'm not saying it will happen for sure, but it almost feels like this reverse psychology is happening all the time. And that's what people mean by always trading against the sentiment. So in my opinion, you could have one of three scenarios. You could have your best outcome, your bullish case, where tariffs create a market fear and investors just hedge into Bitcoin, and we're going to just see a big price surge, similar to 2018-2019. Bitcoin benefits from macro uncertainty. Then your bearish case, which is short-term volatility. Tariffs trigger a stock market crash. Bitcoin might initially drop as liquidity dries up, and then investors might sell risky assets first, including Bitcoin. And then you got your neutral mixed case scenario, where Bitcoin sees short-term volatility but long-term strength as the tariffs weaken the dollar. And I think when this happens, big investors, whales and institutions could take positions after Trump's announcement. So Trump's tariffs could shake up the economy, and Bitcoin is right in the middle of it. If history repeats itself, we might see another Bitcoin rally. But tell me what you think. Will Trump's tariffs be good or bad for Bitcoin? Let's discuss in the comments below my video. Hit like on the video if you found this helpful, and please subscribe. Let's see how this week goes. Bye, guys.